Alright guys, how you doing? It's Rabea, hope you're all good. So this video is brought to you in association with the wonderful people at Seymour Duncan. Now, hopefully you all know who Seymour Duncan are. If you don't, they make pickups most famously, have done for years and years and years, and they're absolutely fantastic. Some of you may not be aware that they also make pedals. Well, they also make other things outside of pedals, and I've done videos with Seymour Duncan in the past on different products. Like the power stage, which is a nice clean power section to run with a modeler. I've also done the diamond head distortion, which is a really nice sort of 80s shred distortion pedal, and I've done the dark sun, which is Mark Holcomb's signature delay reverb pedal. So they got in touch with me about a month ago and said, we've got a brand new delay pedal coming out that we would like you to check out. So in this video, we're going to be looking at the brand new Seymour Duncan Vapour Deluxe delay pedal. Now, let me just say, this is a sponsored video. Seymour Duncan did get in touch and say, can we pay you to check out this pedal, put it on your YouTube channel, go through some tones and show people what it sounds like. We're going to take you through the pedal so you can hear how it sounds, how it works, and then I'll give you my opinions at the end of the video. So in addition to this being a great sounding analog delay, which the team spent a lot of time over the Bucket Brigade chips, I've been told, there are also some unique delay sounds in here too. So they've programmed in some more interesting textural delays that you can use to create soundscapes and just generally have a little bit more fun than your sort of standard delay tones. You've got things like pitch bending delays, like octave shifting delays. You've also got like a feedback ramping delay. We'll go into all of them individually. You can also save your presets with it, so you've got 3 user presets and then the 1 manual preset, which is how the knobs are currently set. You can also affect the trails in terms of powering on the pedal, holding down the foot switch to take trails on and off, so that's nice to know. Another interesting feature on this pedal is the wet insert, which goes between the in and out on the back, so you can send the wet signal out, create a wet dry wet rig, for example, using TRS. Other than that, there are 2 foot switches, obviously one to turn on and off the pedal and select your presets, and then the right hand foot switch allows you to do tap tempo and also affect some of those unique delay sounds. For example, the pitch bend delay, you can essentially press the pedal down on the right and it will initiate that sort of bending sound. So in this video, we're going to be plugging into my Soldano SLO 100. We're running this in the loop. As you can see, there are other pedals on the board, because I didn't want to dismantle the whole board. We'll use a couple of them, but the focus is, of course, the Vapour Deluxe. So we're running into the SLO, which is coming out into Neural DSP Nolly, Archetype Nolly, so I can use the cabs on there. We've got a couple of different guitars to use. I'm just going to take you through the pedal, see how it sounds. Okay, so I've got my guitar. We'll start with the telly, some classic sounds. I'm running the Origin effects literally just to thicken up the sound because I'm going to be using humbuckers as well, but this is the telly into the Soldano. Throw on the Origin effects. So it's pretty much the same, but with more low end. Just really quickly, so you can tell what we're looking at here in terms of the control layout. You've got mix on top left, repeats in the middle on the top row, and then time on top right. And then we've got depth multi, which is bottom left, and that essentially changes the depth and the inherent effects that come in with certain delay settings you've got in here. So like modulation effects and stuff, so the depth of that effect, etc. And then rate is how fast that effect happens, the modulation. So there's cool things like on the first unique delay sound that we've got, you can use the depth and multi knob as like a rotary cab. So that's really nice. Far right is the encoder, which is the rotary knob switch that allows you to move between the different subdivisions that they've programmed into the pedal for delay time. But on top of that, you can access your unique delay sounds as well. But we have our standard sort of quarter note, dotted eighth note triplets, and all the rest of it, as you'd expect on a good quality delay pedal. So let me just go ahead and knock on the Vapour Deluxe real quick, and we'll just dial in a quick delay sound. So immediately you can hear that analog vibe. Okay, let's mess. So we can turn it up a little bit. I like where the repeats are. Let's push this up and see what happens. This is with the modulation up now. Okay, may need to back that off a little bit. So I like that you can kind of dial in a really nice kind of modulated kind of old school sound. It's really nice. Now throw on some reverb. So we can quite clearly hear that that is an analog delay. It's a nice full sort of analog delay sound, really warm. So it's kind of getting the slapback thing, but maybe it's a little bit too much. But we've actually got a slapback setting, so check this out. It's a nice sound. I do like a slapback. I'm not very familiar with slapback, but I like how it sort of, when you're playing lead at least, you really hear more of it. It doesn't kind of get as mushy. It gives you a nice amount of like, oh, I can pick out each note. Let's throw on some reverb. So within this sound, we've got, using the depth and the multi-knob and the rate, you can get a Leslie cabinet to come through. So let me take it out first. Now let me throw it in. Speed it up a little bit. So that was micro delay. Let's move on to pitch sequence. So this is giving us, in the delay repeats, we're going to have octaves above and below. Let's get a little bit of reverb on this for good measure. Let's see what happens when I play. So I've just been messing around with that, as you could hear, sounds really cool. The depth and the multi-knob affect how many steps there are in the sequence, so I'm only really using 2 here. If I boost it, check it out now. Okay, so that's pitch sequence. Let's move on to runaway delay. So this one's cool because when I hold down on the tap hold foot switch is going to ramp up the decay of the delay and give us like quite a dramatic sort of pad sound, which we can then release the foot switch and then let it sort of peter out and carry on doing those kind of ambient soundscapes. The depth and the multi-knob on this setting just go back to controlling that sort of modulation. So the same with the standard analog delay, and then the same on here. So let me go ahead and... So that effect's useful for building a mood, building a pad. You'd like strike a chord or play like a series of notes and then let that sort of start to accumulate. It's starting to send the Soldano FX loop a little bit funny because I guess it's just the style of the amp design, but you start to hear it really start crackling up, that effects loop there. So probably the most interesting effect mode in here is the pitch bend mode. I think it's pretty cool. Again, you access the pitch bend effect itself by hitting the tap tempo button, but it's really important to know what the controls do in the sense that the depth multi-control below noon is going to drop the pitch down an octave, whereas above noon it's going to go up an octave. And the rate is the speed of that glide as well. So it's, again, quite a cool thing. So let me go ahead and play a chord. Okay, so there is a look at the Vapour Trail Deluxe from Seymour Duncan. What do I think? Well, what I would say is that for somebody like myself that's more into multi-delays, as in like a big machine that gives me lots of options, I kind of got a bit of that with this pedal in the sense that it's way simpler, there's way less in it. You know, it's an analog delay, sounds really nice, it's a good quality analog delay. You can tell they spent the time making sure those Bucket Brigade chips are to spec. But what I like is those small additions into the weird world of delay, like the pitch bend stuff and the sequence stuff like that. Wasn't a huge fan of the ramp effect, the Runaway Delay. Could have taken or left that. I think it's one of those that in a live application you'd be glad to have it on the board if you wanted to create some tension, but generally speaking I could take or leave that one. But I do like the idea of these pitch delays. It started to remind me a bit of the microcosm which I just got, in the sense that it gives me these sort of almost perceivably random step sequences of pitched octave delays, which I really liked, and you could definitely get lost in that and start to create some really nice ambient soundscapes. You know, essentially you've got a good quality, great sounding analog delay pedal, but then you get a couple of extra bells and whistles into the world of the weird, which I think is what I guess sets this pedal apart from other analog delay pedals. You know, like I'd put this alongside something like the Delay Llama from Jam Pedals, you know, that kind of area. I'd put it alongside something like the ARP87 from Walrus, but I actually think that this has way more to offer than both those pedals, in the sense you've got those unique delay types. You've got the wet out on there, so you can send the wet signal straight to wet dry wet rig or whatever, and of course it's programmable, you can save it, and it's interactive. So overall I think it's a good delay pedal. If you're in the market for something not too complex, you may want to take a look at the Vapour Trail Deluxe. Of course it's Seymour Duncan, so it's built and designed really well. The sound quality is up there as well, so there's nothing to worry about on that front. If you like the sound of this pedal, I'll put it in the description box below. But as always, thank you to Seymour Duncan for sending this over to me to check out. Thank you for watching this video. I'd like to know what you think in the comment section below. I'll link everything in the description box. But until next time, like, subscribe and share. I've been Rabea, and I will see you all very soon.